I come in, I try and as efficiently as possible put together the different tools out there to either shelter taxes or provide some form of tax advantaged benefit down the road, and in that mix. And real estate is a part of that. And for one person it might be tax-free income through municipal bonds, using your retirement plans, Roth IRAs, doing conversions. There's a lot of different things we can do, and that's really tailored to each and every individual person and kind of what their situation is now. And then what we try and do is forecast down the road what that might look for them, like for each individual person.
Sure, and in terms of forecasting, I would imagine there's some metrics we have to determine life expectancy of an individual, and then calculate back, let's say retirement at 65, live to 95, that's 30 years you have to accumulate enough money to live off of. There's got to be some way of formulating a plan to make sure you hit the right number.
Yeah, and that's what I do. And I'm really a goals and needs based kind of financial planner, where people come to me with those goals and the needs, and I plug in numbers and I can tell them exactly what that looks like. Our industry also likes to complicate things, but there's a fairly simple way of looking at it. And really, at the end of the day, when you retire, you're basically going to need to save up enough money to where you could have a withdrawal rate. Now, everyone confuses what they'll earn on their investments versus what they can take out. And where I try and get people to focus on is how much money they can be pulling from their accounts. And
to live on.
Yeah,
okay.
To live on in retirement. And that meaning that being sustainable over a very long-term life expectancy. And so if you're retiring today at 60, that might look like 92, 95 years old. That's what the expectations are today, which is scary in and of itself. So people want to know, really at the end of the day, am I going to outlive my money? Am I going to outlive my resources? So to the best of our ability, what we try and do is give them an idea of what that looks like. And so all these financial plans and fancy software tools that we have, really it comes down to distribution rate, and that distribution rate is somewhere between 3.5% and 4.5%. So an example would be, if you have $1 million and you're retiring today, your expected distribution rate for that would be somewhere between $35,000 and $45,000 a year. And many of us got excited during the 1990s and thought that we would always be able to take out our 8 to 10%, and that would be sustainable. Well, we learned quickly that you get periods of time where it's difficult to get those types of returns like we are in that right now, and that whole plan blows up. And so what we've designed is portfolios that can stand the test of time and make it through retirement. And so people have to have those realistic expectations that their number really comes somewhere between that 3.5% and 4.5% distribution rate. Now, understand that's indexed for inflation, because $35,000 today, 10 years from now, isn't going to buy the same amount of gas in your tank.